Good afternoon, children, and any adults and young people who may be watching with you. You have found your way to our video series called At Our Wits' End. I am Grandpa Ken, and we are back at Wits' End, which is our home in the hills of southeastern Ohio, where we welcome friends and neighbors and family members to learn how to live with hope and love, no matter what is going on in the world around us. You may recall that the last couple of times we did this video series with you, I talked about an answer to the question, Grandpa Ken, why did you build an archery range in your yard next to your house? And I told you that every time I teach archery, I get to talk to the children about the Native Americans who lived on this land and made their bows and arrows from the materials they found in the woods. But today I have another answer for the question, why teach archery? When you're learning archery, you not only learn that particular skill, you also learn that when you need to, when circumstances have changed in your world and things are happening around you that might be difficult, you can learn new skills. You can grow. You can adapt to whatever is going on in your world. So let me tell you a story about that. When I was in the 5th grade, I was 10 years old, and my mom and dad decided that the family needed to leave our wonderful home in the south part of New York State and move to the north part of New York State, up on the St. Lawrence River, where it is very, very, very cold. None of us wanted to go. We were afraid we would be leaving all of our friends and that it would be very hard to move to this new place. But right away we went to visit some friends, and we met a teenager named George. George was a big, strong guy, and he told us that if we wanted to make friends and have a good time in this city, we had to learn how to ice skate. I have here my hockey skates, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We had to learn to ice skate and play hockey because that's what everybody did. And if you wanted to get along, you had to learn to ice skate and to play hockey. And then he took us out in his backyard, loaned us skates, and he and his dad had poured water on their yard and made their very own ice skating rink and hockey rink right in their backyard. And we started to learn to skate, and we fell down, and we got hurt, and we fell down again, and we got hurt a lot of times, but we learned how to skate. And for Christmas, my mom and dad gave us all ice skates and hockey sticks. And then you know what my dad did? He went outside when it was really, really cold, and he poured water on our yard, and he made us our very own hockey rink. Well, years have passed, boys and girls, and the world is still changing a lot around us, and we still have to learn new skills in order to adapt to the things that are changing around us. Some of those changes might be frightening, like you may have heard that there have been floods in various places in our country and fires. And the circumstances of our lives are always changing, but you and I can learn new skills. We can be prepared for the problems that are coming our way. We can have a family meeting and talk about how to be prepared should there be, for example, a time when the power goes off in our house. Well, one more thing, boys and girls, I still like ice skating. And I'm older now, though, and my balance isn't as good. So I took my hockey skates and I went to an ice skating rink and I practiced and I started to become pretty good, but I fell down a lot. And one time I caught the edge of my skate on a crack in the ice and I fell and I flew up in the air and I crashed my head into the ice and there was blood on the ice and they took me to the hospital. Well, that doesn't have to be the end. Just because something is dangerous and risky, it doesn't have to be the end of doing something new that you really want to do. So instead of giving up, I went out and bought myself my very own hockey helmet. So now whenever I ice skate, I wear my hockey helmet. There are ways to be prepared for anything that might happen. One way is to learn new skills and learn that you can adapt to circumstances, and another way is to just have a conversation with your family about how to be prepared for whatever risks you might decide are very much worth taking. Well, come back to Wits End next week and we'll have another conversation about how we are learning and adapting and growing and loving and finding hope in this world of ours that is always changing. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.